Hi, I'm Kyrill, and I'm reporting on our study of teens' use of personal informatics technology. So, a recent study by Rich et al. Found that as many as 40% of teenagers in the UK were independently using self-tracking technologies to learn about themselves and their health, and that's without adult supervision. Whereas most prior work has focused on introducing young people to these kind of tools for adult-determined outcomes. So there's clearly a gap in understanding how young people are using this and how we can support this user group. So we wanted to test what kind of motives young people themselves pursue, how they interpret their own data, and whether this could be supported through a process of scaffolding. So we had 4 short discussion sessions during a learning phase of the study, in which they were introduced to existing case studies of diverse uses of self-tracking technology. They practiced creatively interpreting personal informatics data, and they also discussed what they would be interested in learning about themselves, and then found a free personal informatics app or borrowed a fitness tracker for the duration of the study in order to use it at home over a number of weeks. And then we interviewed them one-to-one. They chose a diverse range of tools. They often switched apps during the study. They could switch their goal at any point. And these are some of the apps that they told us about during the interview. And what we found is that there was a really varied set of uses that they came up with, lots of different types of engagement. So we had 5 themes. The first was to do with either finding the data trivial or obvious, or being reassured by seeing their natural patterns or seeing what they were up to. It could also be used as a kind of authority to validate what they were doing, or to judge whether what they were doing was right. Although there was very little behaviour change, lots of them thought of the practice in terms of behaviour change framings, and that might be partly to do with the way in which these tools have been promoted and designed. But also, many of them reacted against that kind of pre-designed behaviour change framing. They didn't like being nudged. What they did enjoy was the opportunity to express these critical things to do with reaffirming that they were happy with their exercise or other aspects of their life. And the data could actually, in that interview and learning phase process, support wider discussions where the data mediated evaluation of their life as a whole, their personality, their longer term goals. And also most participants actually talked about moods or well-being, and for some of them the self-tracking practice supported that. And in terms of the takeaways, it was significant that young people who were free to choose the metrics by which they were tracking were able to develop units of analysis for aspects of their own life that they could apply to other areas even when they weren't using the app. And they were externalizing and reflecting on social norms that already existed before they started tracking, and the app could support personal and social emotional learning as well as self-care. And the learning phase definitely supported that kind of creative and diverse set of goals and interpretations. Our work indicates new opportunities for design, and designers should consider how to make their tools flexible enough to reflect young people's evolving motives. Thank you.